Today, I have an acoustic gig. I think I'm gonna pull my X32 and put it in this smaller rack. Then I can put the new mixer, which is not chosen yet, into this big rack. I use this in my rehearsal space, so I just need to unplug it, and I don't want to tear out the router, so I dug out this old beat up one. Look at that. Dog hair and all, it actually turns on. I'm gonna test it here on the floor instead of tearing down the whole rack first to make sure it works. Well, I can see the network, so that is good. When I go to connect through mixing station, it sees nothing. So I need to figure out why. Turned out it auto jumped to my other router, so now when I click it, you can see it, and wait for it, and we're working. The reason this rack is so big and there's all these connections is because it is my inner rack and I use this splitter. It's nice because I can split the signal for front of house, but also I can plug into the front. Time to get some tools and tear this baby down. If you don't have one of these magnetic trays, you need one. Time to dig out the rack, which is being used as a stand. Well, when you have very little space, you try to use it as effectively as possible, which means you move stuff a lot. This is a Seismic Audio 6U. I bought it so I could have options. I don't remember how I had it before. Clearly, that's not how I had it before. Alright, let's figure this out. Is it on the back? No, that's dumb. I put the X32 on the bottom because it's heavy and I want it to be bottom heavy. Then I left a little air gap and the shelf is going to be for the router. Fun tip that I was taught: if you use zip ties, tear a hole in the center. That way when you pull one out and you don't use them all, when you put them back on the shelf, they don't just poop out everywhere. For cable management, I actually prefer these Velcro strips, and I have a whole bunch of ones. I'm not gonna do a perfect job here because I'm in a hurry, but this way they're not just bouncing around everywhere. All right, let's fire it up. Maybe? There it is. Oh man. Well, that's working at least. All right, one blurry test later to see if it works before we go. I see the router, but not the mixer. Oh, I see what the problem is. I plugged it into the WAN, the yellow WAN port, instead of like 1, 2, or 3, or 4, and there we go. We're in business. Today, I'm only supplying the mixer for their acoustic rig, and I think I'm gonna add acoustic rigs to my rig builder, which I recently released. If you happen to miss that video, I'll link it in the top right. But what the rig builder is a drop-down menu where you can select mixers and gear that I see at a lot of gigs to kind of take the guesswork out for you. In the document, I even do a small bar rig, a medium rig, and an outdoor rig. And now, maybe I'll add acoustic. The band mentioned that they use an XLR to 1/4-inch cable to change it over for their system. I'm gonna take these just in case. I'd rather have them and not need them than to need them and not have them. I find this camera/sound backpack to be so useful. I think eventually I'll show a video of what I take to gigs. Okay, holy crap. Now I remember why I stopped using this. It's actually kind of heavy. It's a lot easier rolling around that big rack than lifting this thing up and down. Oh well, this takes up a smaller footprint in the car. Now, I have to put the seatbelt in because my backpack sets off the ding ding for a person being in there. I can't find the button to turn it off, so we do it this way. After a short little drive, we have arrived. Tonight, we are at Skyybox. It reminds me of that joke. What do you call a spider with 10 eyes? A spider. It's so stupid, but so funny. Mark is already here, so I might as well help him load in. It's supposed to be really cold tonight, so good thing we're inside. This is not a huge bar, and it looks like they haven't moved the tables yet, so we'll just move some stuff out of the way. I'm not sure what Mark was saying here, but I am really listening. I found this convenient power spot, so that's where I'm gonna plug in my mixer as soon as I move these darn pretty flowers. Sticks? What is this? Lavender? I don't know. You tell me. Lisa's here. She's the other half of the duo, and you might recognize them. I did sound for them for a full band. The band's called the Personics, and I had fun mixing them a couple times over the summer. Of course, tonight's a little different. It's just a fun little acoustic duo. So I brought a little surprise today. I brought my media player, and I have loaded it up with their logo because when I was in my band, it drove me nuts that they always had TV on and it was sports instead of showing the band. I okayed it with the bar, so now I'm just looking for a way to hook it up easily. And it looks like the HDMI cable comes from here to the TV, so I'll just use that. Looks like I almost know what I'm doing. Oh crap, guess I don't know. Okay. Let's try this one. Hey, I did it. They are using one set of Turbosound IP2000s. I've never worked with these. Actually, I've never worked with any column speakers. Look how easy these go in. That is so cool, so convenient. Now I just need to run everything into the back of my mixer, and we will be ready for a check.
When the rain washes you clean, you know.
Well, it all works, so let's look at their gear. What they're using is a direct box for the singer Lisa here, and it'll be going into this Fishman, and I kind of messed something up here. We'll talk about it later. And it looks like she's running a full-bodied acoustic, I would guess a Dreadnought. She also has some extra loud shakers that they were so kind as to let my son play along with them at one of their other gigs. He absolutely loved it. It's a great way to get people to come back to your shows. And of course an iPad for all the requests you'll be getting. Her mic is a Sennheiser, probably a 935 or a 945. And here's Mark's pedal board. He too is using a direct box, which will be going into this EVERSE 8, which is a battery-powered speaker. Now they have two inputs. One's gonna be his guitar, and one's gonna be a monitor from me for his vocals. And that's kind of where I mess up later. Here is his guitar, and he is using a Acoustic, I believe is what this one's called. And of course, he also sings, so he's gonna need an iPad too. And he's sporting the SE V7 with the cool black grill. I really like this mic. And he's got a couple of these little lights for washes. And again, my X32 will be running everything. I'll be using an old iPhone for break music, and they say you need to run a direct box, but if you run it through the aux in the back here, you cannot phantom power through these, so you won't blow up your phone. And their speakers only need one connection to run the whole thing. They also have this nice sign, which comes with this convenient breakdown display, which makes it really small, and then you just expand it when you're at the venue. Plus, it's a cool way to hide all your bags and stuff. I turned off this other TV that was close just to mitigate distractions. And of course, they have a tip jar. If you don't have a tip jar, you're leaving money on the table. Well, people are starting to show up, so let's get this show on the road.
Occupy my time. Well, I know. I said, baby, I just want you back, and I want you to stay. I'm walking on sunshine. Then I laid me into shade. Must have been asleep for days. The river between me. I opened up my eyes. Found myself alone.
So we survived. So back to how did I mess up? Well, they only wanted me to run vocals because they were going to control it from their amp, so they'd control vocals and guitar. She couldn't hear her guitar when I was setting her up, so out of habit, I ran it up in her monitor, which effectively doubled the volume of her guitar. I guess it wasn't a big enough issue to say anything, and the show went off great, and I had compliments all night long. These little Turbosound column arrays did just fine for this. This is what it sounded like off access. If I was being really nitpicky, I would say maybe a second one pointed that direction would have helped, but really, it sounded just fine the way it was. So what did I learn about this rack? While it's smaller, it's not really more convenient. It needs to roll. This is actually pretty heavy. It does, however, fit in the car a lot nicer. Maybe I'll add wheels to this, or maybe I'll buy one with wheels. Who knows? If you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really does help. It tricks the algorithm into thinking that somebody else might like this video. This week I will be flying out to NAMM. I'm really excited. I'm hoping to hear even more column array speakers. I really want to hear the EV ones and the QSC ones for sure, to see how they compare. Boy, it's cold, dang. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you at the next gig.